Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, your knuckles white from gripping the railing with desperate force, every muscle screaming that to let go is to invite disaster, a free fall into nothingness, loss, defeat, and utter vulnerability. This visceral fear captures how most of us perceive letting go, as weakness, as failure, as the moment when control slips away and chaos rushes in. Yet, in the quiet depths of spiritual wisdom across traditions, a profound reversal awaits. What if releasing that grip is not descent, but ascent? What if, in the act of opening your hands, you rise into a realm of true strength, trust, and devotion? Letting go, far from being abandonment, becomes an intentional offering, a sacred declaration that the divine, Allah, God, or the eternal force greater than ourselves holds everything more securely than our trembling grasp ever could. When letting go becomes an act of worship, detachment reveals its true face, not frailty, but the pinnacle of devotion, a courageous surrender that transforms ordinary pain into holy praise. This truth, echoed in ancient scriptures and modern insights alike, invites us to reframe release as the deepest form of love and trust. Detachment is frequently misunderstood, conjuring images of detached monks in distant caves or a cold, emotionless existence stripped of joy and connection. In reality, authentic detachment is liberation, not indifference. It is freedom from the invisible chains of ego-driven outcomes, obsessive control, fleeting illusions, and the relentless pursuit of what cannot ultimately satisfy. Rather than fleeing life, it enables fuller, more present engagement without enslavement to results. In Islamic spirituality, this essence shines through zuhd, the detachment of the heart from worldly distractions, dunya, not through outright rejection of blessings or extreme asceticism, but by prioritizing the eternal over the transient. Zuhd purifies the soul, creating spaciousness for remembrance of Allah dhikr, deeper prayer, fasting, and charity as genuine acts of worship. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, exemplified this by living simply amid abundance, teaching that true richness lies in a heart unattached to possessions. Psychologically, this aligns with non-attachment, a flexible, balanced orientation toward experiences that reduces fixation on desires or fears. Research shows that higher levels of non-attachment correlate with lower psychological distress, reduced anxiety and depression, greater resilience, and enhanced well-being. For those with depressive symptoms, non-attachment to self proves especially powerful, offering a healthier way to relate to inner experiences than even self-compassion in some cases. The paradox is luminous. By loosening our hold on the small and impermanent, we make room to embrace the infinite, loving deeply without possession, pursuing goals without obsession, and living freely without the shadow of perpetual loss. This is not renunciation for its own sake. It is empowerment, a conscious anchoring of the soul in what endures forever. This liberating truth resonates like a universal symphony across spiritual traditions, uniting diverse paths in the melody of surrender as worship. In Christianity, release stands as the summit of praise, Mary's humble fiat, "Let it be to me according to your word," and Jesus' agonized yet trusting prayer in Gethsemane, "Not my will, but yours be done," turns surrender into profound adoration. The call to cast all your cares upon Him, for He cares for you, transforms letting go into trustful worship that lightens the heaviest burdens. In Islam, zuhd elevates detachment to ibadah worship, freeing the heart from material entanglements so it overflows with love for Allah. The Quran describes worldly life as a deceiving enjoyment, urging believers to seek what lasts eternally. The Bhagavad Gita's Karma Yoga offers a parallel: act fully, perform your duty with excellence, yet renounce attachment to the fruits of action. Krishna's culminating instruction in chapter 18 verse 66, "Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions." Do not fear, frames complete surrender as the path to liberation, moksha, and divine protection. Whether through the Christian living sacrifice, the Muslim heart-centered submission, or the yogi's equanimous offering of every deed, the thread binds them. Letting go boldly proclaims, "O divine, you are infinitely greater than all I cling to." This cross-cultural harmony is no accident. It is the soul's timeless language of worship, bridging faiths and drawing us into deeper union with the sacred. Yet surrender hurts. Why does something so freeing feel like ripping away a vital part of ourselves? The pain arises from our deepest conditioning. We equate control with safety, identity with achievements and possessions, certainty with faith. Our fragile sense of self is woven tightly around what we grasp. Careers, relationships, dreams, even lingering wounds. And release threatens total unraveling. The ego cries out, "Without my tight hold, everything will collapse. What if the divine fails to catch me?" This resistance is primal. Psychologically, it roots in attachment patterns, where clinging wards off loss, but heightens suffering through rumination and elevated stress. Spiritually, it mirrors the inner battle, the flesh warring against the spirit, or the lower self, nafs, defying submission. We fear the void that might follow. Yet genuine agony stems from hearts crammed full of anxieties, leaving no space for peace. This discomfort, however, is transformative. Like the intense contractions preceding birth, it heralds new life. Understanding the illusion that clinging offers no true protection shifts the struggle into sacred growth, readying us to worship through bold, open-handed trust. The pivotal moment dawns when letting go transcends mere relief and becomes deliberate worship, an offering laid upon a sacred altar. It is no longer passive dropping of a burden from exhaustion. It is an active, loving entrustment. Here, divine, this cherished dream, this deep wound, this illusion of mastery, I place it in your hands, not from weakness, but because your wisdom surpasses mine. In Christianity, this echoes the essence of letting go and letting God. Active faith mirrored in Jacob's wrestling that yields blessing. Islam's zuhd converts detachment into worship, purifying the heart for divine illumination. The Gita presents it as ego-free offering, where every action becomes devotion. Psychologically, this shift quiets obsessive thoughts, cultivating acceptance and profound peace. The universal symbol of open hands in prayer across faiths embodies perfect receptivity, empty to be filled abundantly. Here, release ceases to be loss. It becomes sacred gain, a defiant declaration of love that elevates the mundane to the holy. This form of worship unfolds not in lofty abstraction, but in the gritty texture of daily life. Release outcomes after wholehearted effort in career, family, or service, echoing the Gita's instruction to act without clinging to results. During illness, betrayal, or endless waiting, surrender control, reflecting Job's resolute hope amid suffering. The most challenging offering is forgiveness, releasing bitterness and grudges, as Jesus modeled on the cross. Abandon outdated identities, past failures, or former glories, embracing renewal like Paul's forgetting what lies behind. Micro-surrenders accumulate powerfully. Entrust morning worries in prayer. Release evening plans in reflection. In Islam, this mirrors the Prophet's simplicity, placing devotion above luxury. Psychologically, these practices foster emotional resilience, easing anxiety through mindful acceptance. Ritualize the process, journal what you release, meditate on scriptures like "Be still and know that I am God." Each becomes an altar, converting ordinary moments into holy offerings and demonstrating that true devotion flourishes in the gentle art of letting go. The fruits of detachment as devotion are breathtaking and abundant. Inner freedom emerges first, a spacious heart unchained from burdens, bringing peace independent of circumstances. Authentic joy arises, not from fulfilled cravings, but from contentment with what is given, as zuhd promises through divine centering. Equanimity in triumph or trial, as the Gita teaches, guards against emotional turbulence. Research confirms non-attachment's protective power against poor mental health, enhancing empathy, resilience, and overall flourishing. Space widens for divine orchestration outcomes, richer and wiser than our limited visions. Paradoxical abundance flows. The more we release, the more we receive, transforming scarcity into overflowing grace. Stories abound, from ascetics discovering ecstasy in simplicity to everyday people experiencing breakthroughs after surrender. These gifts are not earned through striving but graciously bestowed, nourishing the soul and affirming that devoted release yields wholeness beyond measure. As this exploration draws to a close, a gentle yet urgent invitation remains. What is the divine quietly calling you to place upon the altar today? A persistent worry, an unhealed wound, an unmet longing. Worship is not always exuberant song with raised hands. Often, it is the profound hush of open palms, the brave unclenching in silent trust. Embrace this sacred mystery. The deepest devotion may speak through surrender, the mightiest praise through release. May you discover the courage to let go, the serenity in submission, and the radiant joy in the unfolding path. In that quiet act of worship, life begins to move with you, not against you, because in truly letting go, you realize you were never holding on alone.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.